What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Andy Ruiz. Andy Ruiz shows off a dramatic body transformation as he warns Anthony Joshua that he will be lighter, faster, and more powerful. Ruiz went on, and he looks a lot slimmer in these pictures. But before I counterpunch that, this is what he had to say. He says, I have a lot of respect for Anthony Joshua outside the ring. He is a very good man, the champion told ESPN. It will not be an easy fight. I think it will be a hard fight, but nothing in life is easy. So we are trained very hard. We will be prepared for whatever he brings. I will arrive in a better condition, lighter, faster, and more powerful, and they will believe that in December they will win. People will always talk, but I have faith that we're going to win and shut up more mouths. Okay. That's the words of Andy Ruiz. Now, I'm looking at this picture, and it's the same picture on the thumbnail, obviously, that he's just chilling, hanging outside the speed bag with, he looks slimmer in the face to a certain degree. But honestly, you can't really tell from what we're seeing. Again, in the face you can, but he's wearing like a looser shirt, so you don't know what his physique looks like, honestly. If you look at his arms and his face, it does look like he's been training, and from what I could see, it looks like a lot of weight training. So the question you ask yourself is, it's like how you decide to look at it. He looks thin, or he looks thinner. He came in at 268 pounds on the night of Joshua. Ruiz won, of course, in Madison Square Garden. But it didn't specify how much weight he's really lost. Again, he looks lighter, but then my thing is, will that help him? Will he have more stamina because he's lighter? People would like to say yes, but if you're taking a person that's accustomed to fighting at that type of weight, I think he purposely added some weight on for that fight. Because you guys remember, he said that we purposely wanted more weight for the Anthony Joshua fight. And what happens is when you lose weight, okay, you cut the carbs that you're accustomed to. That means you're cutting the energy off that you're accustomed to having in order for you to move and work and operate properly. Okay, let me give you an example. You can take two runners. One runner can eat a certain amount of carbs, and the other runner can see what the other guy has and tries to implement his same nutrition. And he'll end up being slower, running because he doesn't have the carbs to burn in his body to perform a certain way. Now, I'm not saying that that's Andy Ruiz's case, because the question you ask yourself, what did he weigh before? I forget who he fought. Demarinchenko, I think his name is called. The question is, how much did he weigh for that? Because he only had a week, and then he only had a week off, rather, before knowing he landed the Joshua fight. So if he only had a week off and then he went right back into the training, maybe that same training camp was to lose a certain amount of weight or to gain a certain amount of weight. Because I don't know how much he weighed at that time. Okay, but if he intentionally put on weight to be more powerful and punch harder for Joshua, what do you think's going to happen when he loses it? Or people saying he's losing it now. He looks thinner, so he's definitely training. But what do you think that's going to be? How, will that be a good thing? We'll see on the 7th. If so, will he be faster? Will he be quicker? Can he move? Can he punch harder at a lighter weight? Because that's less weight that you have to put into your shots. Me counterpunching this, it seems good because he says speed is power, but also, the less you weigh, does that mean you can punch harder? I mean, I don't think that Andy Ruiz has any problem delivering punches or turning punches over. He has a beautiful combination output. Okay. My thing is, he'll probably be more quick on his feet, but will he hit as hard? That's my thing. That's the only question that I have for him, because he might come in lighter and punch less. You know, his punches might not have the effect it did at 268. And let's say he comes in at 250, right? That's 18 pounds. So let's say he loses 18 pounds. He comes in at 250. We already know Joshua's losing weight, right? So you will see two smaller guys, but will that weight have an impact on his punching ability? You know, and then again, no punches. The punches that hurt Joshua were the temple shot initially, and then the behind the head shots. You know what I mean? So he took some good rights, you know, especially after that in that second knockdown. But other than that, I wonder how he will perform on the day. But I would like to know what weight is he at now, because he's had this, you know, a dramatic transformation. You know what I mean? What weight has he dropped from? You know? So that's the thing. And it really doesn't show a lot of detail in this particular article here, which I'll leave the link below. And something else I want to add, you know, a lot of people, this narrative that Ruiz didn't have enough time. He only had 5 weeks to train. Well, basically, I don't buy that. I don't think, you know, if he's trying to lose weight to appear, you know, he's going to be in better shape. What do you mean? Is because you're lighter, does that really mean you're in better shape? Nonetheless, as long as he feels that, hey, they've had a sufficient training camp, if he wins, he wins. No excuses. But if he loses with the same result. No excuses. Okay? See, because what happens at this point, oh man, you know, I didn't have enough time. Well, you have all the time. You're losing weight. You're doing exactly what your game plan is. You know, so you can't lay on that excuse, oh, I didn't have enough time. You know, we don't want any excuses. I want Andy Ruiz at his absolute best. That's why Eddie wanted him. And again, then he says, oh, well, it was a cherry pick gone wrong. No, you're a replacement, dude. You're a replacement, and you have just came off a fight. So the narrative wouldn't be that you got a guy off the couch and beat him up when he was not ready. That was the whole point of finding a guy that just had a fight. Because he only had 1 week, he said a week and a half. So that's about, what, 10 days? So he had 10 days off. You know, unless he eats like a fucking slob, in 10 days, you can't get out of shape that quickly after coming off a victory. You know what I mean? And he just came off a training camp and fighting the opponent that he won before going into the training camp for fighting Joshua. So those things, you can throw them right out of the window at this point, because December 7th will be the real test, right? So I don't want to hear excuses from anybody. First of all, not from Joshua, not from Ruiz, because everything is looking great, okay? So we can't use that anymore. So if Andy Ruiz really, if he gets beat, and I like how he says it won't be an easy fight, because I know that's one of those things you could, you know, I don't want him to put his foot in his mouth, which he didn't. You know, he knows like, hey, this guy's going to come ready for me, you know? So the weight loss, if his team thinks it's the best thing to do, great. I say, if it's not broke, don't fix it. I say, if he's bigger, I think, and Joshua's getting smaller, I think his punching power at 268 would be more efficient. And I think that would be the better asset to have versus the speed. But I could be wrong, but he's faster than Joshua anyway at 268. So again, if it's not broke, don't fix it. You know what I mean? That's my counterpunch on it, guys. You guys tell me what you think about this transformation form of Andy Ruiz'S body. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.